it is Game 1 of the American League Division Series Best of 5 between the Cleveland Guardians and the New York Yankees. Gerrit Cole on the mound. Yankees trying to jump out to an early lead at home. Guardians trying to snatch home field advantage. My recap, your reactions coming up next. This is Yankees Game Night. All right. In the words of the great philosopher, Matthew McConaughey. All right. That's 1 win down and 10 to go. 10 wins from number 28. Welcome to October baseball, everybody. Day off tomorrow so we can soak in this victory for at least a couple of days. Game 2 is scheduled for Thursday, but the weather may not cooperate. Forecast does not look good. Before we get to the game, to the recap, we did get some bad news before the game. Scott Effross, expected to be a valuable part of this bullpen, is going to be out for the entire postseason and all of next season with Tommy John surgery. Few surprising roster moves. Aaron Hicks and Marwin Gonzalez both made the roster. Wouldn't have expected either of them to be on the roster. Oswald Peraza left off, and Yankees Twitter was not happy about that. And when IKF instantly made an error in the first inning, it did not help matters very much. Gerrit Cole actually got the start tonight. He was kind of the main story headed in. Would he be able to sort of break out the ace-type stuff that we haven't seen much of this season? And justifiably, a lot of fans, I think, wanted Nestor Cortez to get the Game 1 start. Yankees matched up against Cal Quantrill, who is the son of a former Yankee, Paul Quantrill, and who is the number 3 starter for the Guardians. I almost said Indians. And, he's a pretty good pitcher, but he's hittable at times. And, he gave the Yankees a few issues tonight, but ultimately they did get to him. Gerrit Cole, his issues this year have been the home run, and not just the home run hitters. Everybody. Rookies, number 9 hitters. The universal DH is probably the only reason he didn't give up a couple of home runs to pitchers this year. But the Guardians don't hit a lot of home runs. They're a contact hitting team, so you figure this could be a decent matchup. A fastball pitcher who gives up a lot of home runs to a contact-hitting team. It doesn't hit a lot of home runs. So you figure that Gerrit Cole could come out on top, and he did. He ended up going 6 in the third innings. He left the mound leading 4-1, and he got that great ovation that we've been waiting for since he signed with the Yankees. Things got off to kind of a tough start tonight. IKF actually made an error on the first ball that was hit to him.
We spend $250 billion a year on defense.
That forced Gerrit Cole to throw about 10 extra pitches in the first inning. To add insult to injury, the Yankees worked a pair of walks in the second, but IKF swung at the first pitch and bounced into a double play, unfortunately. Just a tough start to the game for IKF. He did swing the bat a little bit better later on. Cole served up a home run to Stephen Kwan in the third inning and loaded the bases before he got out of it with a strikeout to stifle the rally. That could have been a big inning, but he worked out of it. He settled down after that, and he got the job done. I mean, just a hell of a job by Gerrit Cole. Bottom half, the Yankees answered right back.
That ball is high. It is far. It is gone.
Lord Bader. Harrison Bader with his first Yankee home run. That tied the game at 1. Favorite part of that home run, other than the actual, run scoring and the Yankees tying the game, was that Matt Carpenter was jumping up and down and going bonkers on the bench, and that was good to see. I missed that guy's energy. Bottom 5, Josh Donaldson hit one off the very top of the right field wall and thought it was a home run. Second time, or maybe even third time we've seen that from him this year, where he hits the top of the wall. Bounced back into play, and he got thrown out going back into first base because he was dogging it. Absolutely no excuse for that, especially not in a playoff game. I know this isn't Little League, and we shouldn't have to say this, but run hard until the damn play is over. No one cares about your home run trot or your bat flips during the playoffs. All we care about is winning number 28. And to do that, we need everybody on board going, as Brian Cashman says, all in with the hustle. Yankees won this game, but he cost them a run for sure. Ended up being a big play at the time. IKF was the next batter, and he laced one into the corner. Ended up on third base. Trevino picked up a sac fly to give the Yankees a 2-1 lead. Whoops. There we go. Love Trevino's big sack there. That didn't sound right. Bottom 6, speedy leadoff man. Aaron Judge walked and then made it all the way to third on a bad throw by the catcher on an attempted steal. Ended up getting the steal and then took the extra base. Couple of pitches later, Anthony Rizzo.
That ball is high. It is far. It is gone.
2-run jack. That made it 4-1 Yankees. Maybe the pressure is off of Rizzo now that he's not trying to hit that 33rd home run. That would be his career best. Nana. That was the end for Cal Quantrill. As I mentioned in the intro, Garrett Cole was done after 6 1/3 innings. He left the game with a 4-1 lead and a man on first base. Nice job by Jonathan Loaizaga to get the double play to get out of the inning.
Double kill.
Final line for Garrett Cole, 4 hits, 1 run, 1 walk, 8 strikeouts. Beautiful job. We'll see if he can carry that momentum, but might have earned his pinstripes a little bit tonight. Yankees turned another nice double play in the top of the 8th. This time Rizzo got it started. There was a runner on first, and the ball was hit right to Rizzo, who was playing near the bag. So he ran and tagged first base to get the sure out. And then he did something smart. He chased the runner down. He didn't just fire to second and allow the runner to reverse course and come back to first base. He chased the runner, who had a long way to go. He was only about maybe 40% of the way to second base, and made him commit to second. And once he did that, he was able to easily flip the ball to Gleyber Torres to get the out for the double play.
Double kill.
Clay Holmes came into the game with 1 out in the 9th and hit the first batter he faced, but then he got a soft ground ball and a fly out to end the game. John Sterling for the first time this postseason.
Ball game over. Yankees win. Yankees win. You're a winner.
Seeing a lot of people voting for the belt. I personally would have gone a different way than the voting ended up. I put out a poll in the 9th inning, got about, maybe 100 votes. And the winner of the first belt of the 2022 postseason, Garrett Cole.
Let's go. Belt winner.
Raleigh says Rizzo is a vacuum cleaner at first base. He was smooth over there. Ariadna says, at first, I was upset that the Yankees traded Monty for Bader, but now I think it was worth it. The guy can hit, and he's a great defender. He is a fantastic defender. And Christy Deming says, love seeing them all hyped up in the dugout. Let's go! Butai says, Clay made me scared. I don't blame you. The guy's coming back from an injury. He's had some issues this season with command. He got off to a really good start in the first half, but just hasn't been the same guy in the second half. And, I don't blame you for being a little bit nervous, for flinching a little bit when he came in, especially after hitting the first batter. I saw somebody type, here we go. But, hey, look, he got it done, and the Yankees take game 1. Let's take a look at the box score And let's watch through the highlights tonight. Game 1 of the American League Division Series. Guardians in the Bronx. Crowd was absolutely immense. Looked like standing room only. This was early, the IKF boot. Fielded it off to the side. Probably should have got in front of it if he could. This was a strike him out and attempted throw him out, but the ball got away. A little later on, Garrett Cole with the curveball, Uncle Charlie, and then with the slide piece down to get another strikeout. Trevino makes the throw to first base. A little later on, another strikeout from Garrett Cole, who had the good stuff working tonight. But Kwan was all over this one, and he took one about 6 or 7 rows deep into the right field seats, all over it. But Garrett Cole settled back down, got out of the inning, bases loaded with a strikeout. Harrison Bader answering right back, going deep over the State Farm sign for the dinger. Great swing. I love how he got his legs into it. This is later on. It's a nice play. I actually missed this. I went downstairs to take my dogs out, and I missed that play. This was Donaldson over there at third. No one complains about his defense. Nice throw on that one. Getting the call on that. The umpire tonight missed some calls, but he got that one. And the Yankees got that one. This is a little later on. This is the play off the top of the wall that got Donaldson hung up. I thought it was gone, but, it's in front of you. You got to run. This is the shot by IKF down into the corner. By the way, word to Frankie, baseball for the highlights tonight. I was doing a little bit of a watch-along for the first few innings. And then Trevino with the big sac fly. And the Yankees have been kind of lacking in the sac flies in the postseason the last couple of years. A lot of guys left on third base, so that was big. Garrett Cole, outstanding job. So later on, Aaron Judge taking second base and then getting to third. And Anthony Rizzo going deep into the right field seats. First home run of the playoffs. He's homered in both of the postseason games that he's played with the Yankees. Hashtag clutch. Jonathan Loaizaga also clutch. 100 miles an hour inside off the plate with some tail. And that is a tailor-made double play ball. So let's take a look at the box score. Yankees lead this series 1-0. Garrett Cole gets the win. Really nice job by him. Spoop with the Super Dono says, working my way back to Doot Dart. Don't know what that means, but congratulations. Cole, 11th belt and 7th of the year. He's got some in previous years. Gabriel says, can you highlight this? I know he didn't play tonight, but I have to say it. Domingo Germán proved me wrong in the latter part of the season. He stepped up big, and I'm glad I was wrong. He did do a nice job later on in the year, but he's going to be working out of the bullpen in the playoffs. I think he might be able to step up. Eric C. says, I would really like to argue for team belt for tonight's game. Those are sparing. Those are sparing. It was a nice all-around team effort, but if the Yankees win it all, I'll hand out a team belt. Parks and Young says, Peraza should have been on the roster over Hicks, and I wholeheartedly agree.
I wholeheartedly agree.
All right, let's take a look at this box score here. So Aaron Judge 0 for 3. Rizzo goes 1 for 4 with the big 2-run smash. Gleyber Torres and Giancarlo Stanton both took the collar. I thought Giancarlo had some good at-bats. He worked a walk. It looked like he was late on the fastball again. I'm a little bit worried that the layoff is going to affect him. He's a timing guy. But Cabrera also took the collar. Donaldson went 2 for 2. Despite the little blip with the hustle, getting it done. Couple of hits and good defense. Kind of Falefa 1 for 3, but did boot one and left 3 men on base. Hit into a double play. And Harrison Bader also deserved a little bit of appreciation tonight. First Yankee home run. First home run in pinstripes. Looks like we got another couple of super donos that I missed here. Domingo says, why was the crowd booing at that random player? It was Straw. Appreciate it. And it was because he called the Yankees fan base terrible. But you know what? You put enough idiots in any crowd and they can cause problem. In fact, you put any large enough gathering of people together and there's going to be enough idiots to cause a problem. And that's what I go back to. That problem was just a couple of idiots acting out, and he singled out the entire fan base. So it doesn't make any sense. He called out the entire fan base. But anyway, let's take a look at the pitching. Garrett Cole, 6 1/3 with 1 run. Loizaga gets the hold. Peralta doing good work tonight. 1 1/3 innings. And Clay Holmes goes 2/3 of an inning. And, got the job done. I mean, he didn't look perfect, but he got it done. All right, let's go back to the main screen here. Bronx Talks fired up. It's a little bigger. So, Bronx Talks, actually, thanks for the footage in my Chasing History video of Aaron Judge. If you haven't watched that, I put out a video that took a look at Aaron Judge's entire season. All the home runs, but also some clips from different content creators, from different coverage throughout the league. And it's worth checking out if you haven't watched it. In my opinion, it's the best work I've ever done. Will Burke says, Wandy looked good. Yeah, I agree. Wandy was terrific tonight. Black and White TV says, Falefa can't play short another inning. They're going to hunt for him. Well, you really can't, you really can't aim the ball like that, first of all. And second of all, I'm sure the Yankees would love if the Indians or the Guardians aimed all of their hits or all of their contact to be ground balls to shortstop. I'm sure the Yankees would take that every day of the week. Frankie Baseball says only 14 belts in a year and a half. I save it for special occasions. I gave one out, I think, when the Yankees scored 18 runs against the Cubs, maybe. I gave one out when they scored 20 against the Blue Jays, I think. There's been some good team belts out there, but I don't love to give it out. I like to reserve it for one guy who does the best. Ariadna says, is Michael K retiring? I had not heard that, but I hope not. He's voice of my childhood, him and John Sterling. Although a couple of weeks ago, and this was a funny story, Meredith Morakovits was talking about how she's not going to get married for a long time, for like years and years and years, maybe 20, 30 years. And she said to Michael K, you're going to come to the wedding, right? And Michael K was like, in 20 years? Oh, like he was so distraught at the fact that he had to be alive for another 20 years. It was hilarious. Schwarzentrigger says, curious to see if Carp is going to be in the lineup on Thursday. Will be interesting.
Excellent.
Against Bieber. Now, Bieber has a good breaking pitch. He's a right-handed pitcher. He pitched really well against the Rays. But the Yankees rocked him after his Cy Young year in 2020 in the playoffs in Cleveland. I believe Giancarlo Stanton hit a home run off of him. I know he hit 2 in the game, but the second one wasn't until it was like 11-4. So I think he hit one in that game. Lori C says the Stros look fantastic. Yeah, Stros walked it off today. Yordan Alvarez with a 3-run walk-off home run. What was interesting was that the Mariners brought in Robbie Ray, high-priced free agent starter, to get Alvarez, and he served it up. And it wasn't close. It wasn't a wall scraper. He hit it 438 feet. It went into the second deck. Unreal. Angel says, after seeing what happened in the Mariners-Astros game, who would you rather see? It's tough. I mean, either one of those teams can give the Yankees trouble. So Castillo shut down the Yankees twice this year, once with the Reds and once with Seattle. And so I don't like the prospect of having to face him twice in a short series, maybe even 3 times. But the Astros no-hit the Yankees, and they've got so many dangerous hitters. Look, Altuve has been in it so many years. He reminds me of one of those clutch players from the 90s that the Yankees had that just came through in big moments. I'm not saying that all of it is natural. I still contend that he might have been wearing a buzzer because the whole hiding his skin thing. He said, I don't want to see my tattoos or whatever. And then like a year later, he took off his shirt, didn't mind, and there was no real tattoos there. But that's another story for another day. But they scare me. Yordan Alvarez can do a ton of damage, not only in Yankee Stadium with the short porch, but as we saw today in Houston. Bregman gives the Yankees trouble, and they really know how to pitch the Yankees. Lurie Garcia says Justin Verlander didn't look good. Yeah, he had a tough day. When was the last time you saw Justin Verlander give up 10 hits? He gave up 10 hits and 6 runs. And Brad Bragg, is not happy about it. Sergio Perez says the announcers were okay. He misses Michael Kay. So Michael Kay, he did a couple of the ESPN games. I know he did the Phillies game, and he had a great call for Bryce Harper. And it gave me it was almost like an alternate universe where Bryce Harper signed with the Yankees. And look, I have said this since I started the channel. I am an enormous Bryce Harper fan. Enormous. I think he would have been a perfect fit for the Yankees. I would have gotten him instead of Stanton. I think Harper had 2 or 3 hits tonight, too. And just imagining him launch balls into the right field bleachers and hearing Michael Kay say, "There it goes! See ya!" Or, hearing John Sterling say, "Harper hits one to someplace that rhymes with Harper." Kobe Jeet says, Luis Castillo worries me more than Verlander. Look, they both worry me. Verlander had a sub-2 ERA this year. We've seen what he's done in the postseason before, especially against the Yankees. He's dominated the Yankees in the postseason on multiple occasions. I remember a few years back, I had to go on a work trip. It was a cruise. It was a cruise ship, and my company took us, and they didn't get the Yankee games because it was... that shitty cable that you get on a cruise ship where it's like reruns of Golden Girls and the channel that tells you all the activities on the boat. And then I think there was a 24-hour repeat of the same movie. I think it was Coming to America. All of that stuff is great. But I wanted to watch the ALCS. So I had to buy internet, and I think it was $35 an hour for internet. And I had to buy it for games 1 and 2. In the ALCS. I think this was back in 2019. So, I saw the games, but it was pricey. Bobes says, Peraza should have been on the roster over IKF. How the hell do you miss that ground ball? Thank God it didn't come back to haunt us. Look, he is human. And that happens, but it happens a little bit too often with IKF. Luckily, it didn't cost us, you're right. And hopefully he got it out of his system. Maybe he'll go on to play really sharp, tight defense for the rest of the postseason. Victor Ortiz says, Bob Costas should retire. Dude was putting me to sleep with his commentary. I love Bob Costas. I'm going to fight with you, Victor. I think Bob Costas is one of the best to ever do it. The man is... he gave the eulogy at Mickey Mantle's funeral, for crying out loud. My screensaver went on and took away some of the lighting. But... look, he's not the most exciting announcer. Honestly, I think Matt Vasgersian's probably the best in the business right now. That's just, if you're asking me to come up with one on the top of my head. But, I like his analysis of the game. I like his old baseball stories. He's funny, but not hysterical. It's just kind of like a dry wit. Gabrielle says, Mariners blew it. Absolutely a great opportunity that they gave away.
That is one big pile of shit.
And Dr. Hitskin says, wow, what a great game. Garrett Cole earned his stripes tonight. Butai says, every fan base has their bad moments, and I agree with you. It can happen. Frankie, also a big Bob Costas fan. I'm a big Frankie fan. Subscribe to Frankie Baseball. Right Stuff says, Bryce hits it nice.
Excellent.
Yeah, that would be a good call from... I think it would be more like, Bryce is nice. Or, Harbor hits one into the harbor. I don't know. I can't predict John Sterling's calls. John Shin with the dono. Appreciate that, John. Frankie says, no one tells a story not named Vin Scully. No one, I think he meant to say, no one not named Vin Scully tells a story better than Bob Costas. I'm going to disagree there. My favorite podcaster in the world is Penn Jillette, the magician from Las Vegas. His podcast, Penn Sunday School, is hilarious, and he's got great stories. He's got great showbiz stories, And he actually just wrote a book that I'm reading right now. I'm listening to it. And some people say that listening to a book isn't reading it, but I disagree, because for years and years and years and centuries, all of our stories were passed down via oral tradition. So, however you consume a story, I think it counts. And he wrote a novel. It's called Random, and it's about this guy who bets all of his money in Vegas to try and win money to pay off some mobsters. And he promises himself that if he wins, he's going to live life according to chance, which I find just a very interesting concept. And it's a really well-written book, and he tells the story very, very well. He narrates. Aaron Judge says, that's a real ace, attaboy Cole. Bob says, 100% agree. Thinks that Costas is the best in the game. And the Interlocking NY show, that's a great name for a show. I might have to check you out. Says, Bob is better than Joe Buck. I do agree on that. Gabriel Vasquez. I got to break out the great comment sound for the second time tonight because he's got the winner, in my opinion. He says, Bryce, he's as cool as ice. And Parks and Young says, as long as Smoltz isn't doing games, I can't stand John Smoltz. John Smoltz is terrible. Douglas Rouse says, Harper knocks it out of the Parker. Love it. Thanks, Doug. Great comments, great takes every single night. Andy Yang says, Tom Verducci is also very good. I find him better as more of a sideline reporter. He's an excellent writer. I've read his articles in Sports Illustrated many, many times. I think he's written at least one Yankees book. I can't remember. But he's an outstanding commentator. Frankie says, welcome to Pendulette Recap. And Twig says, Bryce picks the lice. That is disgusting. You get all the bad sounds for that one. And Eric C. says that Costas is more interesting than Joe Buck. Joe Buck is the definition of bland. I think to a certain degree, all of these big-time announcers have to be somewhat bland. You have to be likable, at least to both fan bases during a game. But both fan bases, it works the other way, end up hating you. I mean, you can't win. You can't win. People love their hometown announcers, and that's just the way it goes. Hey, we got 970 in the chat. Here's a chat to you guys, or a hand to you guys. Aaron Judge says, do you like NYY News TV? I like NYY News TV. Pete is a great, hardworking collaborator. We've talked on a couple of different projects. In my opinion, he's the place to go for watch parties, NYY News TV. I told him he should rename the channel NYY Watch Party or Yankees Watch Party or whatever, but, I think they work hard, and I have respect for anybody who works hard and puts in the time. I love all the content creators. All of them. And then let's see here. Oh, Jay Disc. Oh, we got a new winner. A new champion says, the Bryce is right. That sounds like such a Sterling call. And speaking of John Sterling, one more time from the man. Yankees take game one.
Ball game over. Yankees win.
Duper V says Darth Vader. Love it. Love it. Go ahead and hit that like and subscribe. I'm back after every postseason game. We are pretty much the most watched Yankees postgame show on YouTube. So if you enjoy the Yankees, we do this all season. I think I did 154 games this year out of 162. I took some Sundays off. Went golfing a few times, played baseball a few times. But I'm here for the entire postseason. I'll do occasional, mini watch parties for 3 or 4 innings. I don't like to step on other creators' toes. And frankly, it's not my forte. I like the postgame. But I appreciate everybody who joined today and soak in this win. Soak in this win. No wins are guaranteed in the postseason. And now we have a day to kind of relax. Maybe 2 if the weather doesn't cooperate. But either way, the Yankees will be back in the ballpark in the Bronx for Game 2 with Nestor Cortez on the mound. And I will see you next time.